Welcome to EASTBAY Church of Religious Science, where spirit abounds, love overflows, and spiritual transformation begins. Welcome home.
Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. The Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Amen. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family and their children, and your children and their children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family and your children and the children and the children. May his presence go before you and behind you and beside you, all around you and within you. God is with you. God is with you in the morning.
Sunday. Thank you for tuning in to our Sunday morning celebration, and it is a celebration. If you are desiring prayer, our practitioners are available to support you. If you would like a practitioner to pray for you, please join our virtual prayer room right after this service at 11:30 a.m. At this time, we will recite our affirmation. God is the only power. Old habits have no power over me. Conditions have no power over me. Personalities have no power over me. I take dominion. I am whole, I am free, I am complete, now and forevermore, and so it is. Today I have just a few announcements for you. Today at 12 p.m., our youth and teens are invited you to hang out with our youth and family ministry. Please see the link in the chat rooms. Also, each weekday we provide prayer and meditation. Our prayer is at 8 a.m. on Facebook Live, as well as a 12:30 p.m. meditation. Please tune in each day, Monday through Friday. This Wednesday at 6:15, it is my delight and pleasure to announce that we will host our own Reverend Mother, Reverend Eloise Oliver, for our midweek healing circle. It is entitled, Who Are We? This service will be accompanied by the New Day Choir. On Fridays at 11, we invite you to our drop-in class, Meditation is for Lovers. This is an opportunity for us to sit together in the consciousness of love and possibility. And right now, in this moment, it is my sincere pleasure to step aside and welcome our speaker, our Reverend. I am so honored and so love-filled, heart-filled to invite our sister up to the pulpit, our sister in visioning, our sister in love, our sister in community building, our sister in spiritual activism. Please help me welcome Reverend Dereca Blackman.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you so much, Sister Ona Afre, for setting the beautiful tone and energy and establishing the presence in this place. So grateful, so grateful. As has been said, my name is Reverend Dereca Blackman, and I use she and they pronouns, and I always like to let you know what my gender pronouns are because you can't tell what they are by looking at me. I am so grateful to be here at my home, the EASTBAY Church of Religious Science, and I am blessed by the people that show up here to support this ministry and this message. And wherever you are, whenever you are watching this, I'm blessed by your presence. It is a super special Sunday, one that I have been waiting for a minute now. I am blessed today with a dynamic duo, a special music ministry for us today. It's my first Sunday since I've been back, being with our own songbird, songstress, light and love energy, Vanessa Wynn, who is the director of the music ministry here at the EASTBAY Church. And she is joined by someone who will never be a guest in this place, the Reverend Michelle Jordan, who is the staff minister and music minister at the San Jose Center for Spiritual Living, but also the queen. The queen. That's what we know and say around here. I said to her, I said, is it Queen Reverend or Reverend Queen? And she, you know, being her, she was like, oh, it's just Michelle, but it's not. Because if we are going to be a philosophy, a faith, a practice that sees God in everyone, then we have to be willing to have that reflected to us. And this is truly the minister of music for my soul. I really am excited. And I'm going to stop talking so they can start singing, because that's what I'm really talking about. And so I bring you Vanessa Wynn and Reverend Michelle Jordan with The Rise.
Oh, it's a blessing, a blessing. Thank you, Vanessa. Lies. You may trod me down in the very dirt, and still like dust I'll rise. Does my happiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I laugh like I got an oil well pumping in my living room. So you may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, and I'll rise, I'll rise, I'll rise. Out of the shacks of a history shame, up from a past rooted in pain, I'll rise, I'll rise, I'll rise. Oh, I'll rise, I'll rise, I'll rise. Now did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my confidence upset you? Don't you take it all for heart, 'cause I walk like I got a diamond mine breaking up in my front yard. So you may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, and I'll rise, I'll rise, I'll rise. Out of the shacks of a history shame, out from a past rooted in pain, I'll rise, I'll rise, I'll rise. So you may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me down in the very dirt, and still like dust I'll rise. Rise, I'll rise, I'll rise, I'll rise, I'll rise, I'll rise, I'll rise. Ooh.
Vanessa Wynn and Reverend Queen Michelle Jordan, reminding us that it's time. This is our time to rise. It's Rise Up Sunday. One of my first Sundays back was Easter Resurrection Sunday, and I'm ready. I'm ready for us to rise again. It's time to rise beyond the two-ness. It's time to rise beyond the lie of separation. We are being called like never before to the construct of oneness. COVID-19 is a teacher. It's an opportunity for us to remember and reflect that we are one, that everything that happens to any of us happens to all of us. Because I'm going to tell you what, that there is no spot where God is not, and there is no spot where COVID isn't touching somebody all over the world. There is no spot, no justification, no classification, no stratification that is going to make this thing just for those people over there. The ones who are outside have gotten it. The ones who stay inside have gotten it. The ones who are rich and famous have gotten it. The ones who are poor and on the street have gotten it. It has been Republicans and Democrats and men and women and two-spirit people. And yes, it is disproportionately affecting people who are black and brown and poor, and that is true. And still we rise. Even in this moment where there is this disease in our consciousness, in our midst, we are having an opportunity to transform our thinking, an opportunity to renew our mind. But there are some things we're going to have to let go. We're going to have to let go of the idea of a hierarchy. We're going to have to let go of the perception that some people are better than other people. We're going to have to let go of the idea that white is the gold standard and everything else ought to try to conform to that way of thinking and looking and speaking and acting and succeeding. Those standards no longer apply, because there is an awakening like never before that says who I am, who my people are, where I come from, how we talk, how we dance, how we sing, what we do is just as good as anyone. We're going to have to let go of the idea that rich is the goal. The idea that there is some pot of money at the end of the rainbow that we've got to be working toward in order to be happy. It's never been true. All we have to do is look at the people who have all the money. It's so obvious that that is not the key to happiness. It's a lie we have to let go of, because now the opportunity is a crash of the economy. It's coming. It's coming, and then the hills are going to be laid low. What is going to happen to this country, the way in which we have disregarded the people who are poor and hungry? What if a lot of people are poor and hungry? It's going to change this country, and dare I say, it will change the whole world. I'm not saying this is what we need to do. I'm just saying it's interesting to think about what will happen if we let go of the idea that our whole being is to pursue money. It's an opportunity for us to look at each other differently, to say that disability is not a deficit. Some of my friends in the disability community use the term TAB, which stands for temporarily able-bodied. It's a controversial term. Not everybody likes it, but there's an opportunity here to say, there, but the least of these go I, right? So all of a sudden, we didn't have a lot of compassion for people who were sick, people who were without homes. We didn't have a lot of compassion until all of a sudden, it looked like it could happen to anyone. We have to let go of the two-ness, of the hierarchy, of the idea that man is God and woman is a virgin. Where did we come up with this madness? Or even we're going to have to let go of the idea that the only two choices are man and woman. Breathe. I'm going to want you to breathe. If you're still holding on to the resistance of the non-binary, gender non-conforming identity, I'm going to take a second to be with you in this moment. If you don't understand it, say that. Say you don't understand it. Don't say you disapprove of something just because you don't understand it. There was a time that people didn't understand the power of women, so they were witches. If they didn't understand the consciousness of black people, they were animals. There was a time when we thought that it was queer people who were immoral. There is a time where people are saying that the Mexicans are criminals and the Jews are greedy and the Palestinians are terrorists, and everybody, the Muslims and the Russians and the Vietnamese and the Germans, they're all evil empires. Aren't you tired of making everybody who is different than you an enemy? You don't understand. That's okay. It's a lot of things I don't understand. And I work very hard at understanding, but there's still a lot of things I don't understand, a lot of people whose experiences I haven't had. I'm learning about indigenous folks whose land I'm standing on, but I for sure am not going to tell them about them. So when somebody tells you, this is my truth, this is my reality, this is who I am, let's do something different. We're going to have to let go of the idea that that's an opportunity for you to judge whether they should be who they tell you they are. I was tired. I was worn out and tired. And I began to feel like so many of us worn down by this moment where so many of my people were being demonized in the media for just seeking justice. I was worn out by this moment where so many of my people were experiencing the ravages of this disease. I was worn out by feeling like I was isolated. And I just felt the doom of this moment. I felt the despair of this moment, and so many people I talk to and hear about are going through this thing. Our suicide rates are through the roof. The homicide rates in so many places are through the roof, and we can look at this and say, oh, the end is nigh. And I felt that. Like so many people, I felt that. And they used to have that show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And one of the options was phone a friend. I want you to consider that there's somebody, even if that somebody is the prayer line at the end of this service, there's somebody who you can call who will tell you the actual truth about this moment. My somebody was my friend, Kwame Anku. I called him and I said, Kwame, I'm losing my religion. And he listened to me and he comforted me. And then he told me, he said, Dereca, you're talking to the wrong people. Or I said, you're missing the point. Never before has there been this kind of swelling, even bigger than the civil rights movement. This is that moment where the new way is dawning and emerging. Never before has there been an opportunity like this one. Has there been a focus like this one? Has there been an investment in the Black community like this one? Never before have I walked through the streets of Redwood City and seen Black Lives Matters murals all over the place. I had to see it differently. What is happening in this moment has never happened before. And I'm not saying, oh, it's okay that George Floyd died. I'm not saying it's okay that COVID came. I'm saying it's here, and now what are we going to do with it? And it reminded me of something that I learned about in my studies in ministerial school. There was this teaching about the 4 kingdoms. And what the 4 kingdoms were is a shift, an opportunity to shift in consciousness. The first kingdom was life happens to me. The first little quadrant is 4 quadrants. Life happens to me. This is the place where I feel victimized. I feel at the impact. Anything could happen to me that might hurt me, might destroy me, might offset my chances of being happy. My happiness is dependent upon the things that happen to me. And this was the great blessing of this philosophy for me, is that when I came into a recognition of the power of consciousness, I was able to take dominion over my thinking and, as a consequence, over my life. This is the shift to the second quadrant. Life happens by me. This is dominion. Dominion is an amazing feeling when you first realize you have it. When you realize that you can create your life regardless to what your parents did, regardless to what your ex did, regardless to what's happening at your job. My mama used to say, I don't work for them, I work for God. And that thing, that recognition that there's something inside of me that is whole, perfect, and complete, that can never be harmed by my past experiences or your personality, that thing allowed me to have dominion in my life. And it was a beautiful awakening. That was so much a part of why I loved this teaching so much. And then as I got further along in the journey, I came to another realization that dominion is exhausting. That constantly thinking that I have to create my whole reality was tiring. And I'm not saying I don't want dominion, I do. But I knew there was something more, and this is the realization that gets you to quadrant 3. Life happens through me. This is that moment when you go, use me, God. What is mine to do? I'm going to sit in the silence and listen for direction. I'm going to wait until I feel something rising up in me that's guiding my way, whether it's which way, should I follow this GPS or not, or should I take this job or not, or should I marry this person or not, or should I leave this city or not. There is a quiet, small, still voice that if I'm willing to let it use me, it operates through me. Oh, what a relief. What a joy it is. Now, there is a 4th quadrant, and I want to tell you that only the masters, I don't even like that word, only the highest levels of, I don't even like the bind, the conscious, I'm going to just tell you people, some people who practice, who are willing to recognize the 4th quadrant is life happens as me. Now, this is some stuff. This is I am one with God, and everything that God is, I am. It means God is the ocean, and I am a cup of the ocean, so I get to be all that God is. This is probably the most revolutionary idea of this religious science thing. It is the idea that God and I are one. When I talk about letting go of separation, I'm talking about the idea that I'm one with all that power, all that peace, all that presence. And so there isn't a whole lot I have to do. It's when we move from doing to just being, from the idea that our busyness, our success, our accomplishments is what defines us. And then I recognize, and I'm going to tell you, this has been the most beautiful thing about 50. I turned 50 in March, and nothing has been as wonderful as really being like, I've done enough. I don't have to do anything else. I get to do, because I and God are one. So whatever I do is divine. Woo! Y'all don't even know about that. It's a good thing. And so in this consciousness where I realize that I am God, anything about me is God. And so this is the consciousness that is healing Black people and healing the world, because healing Black people is healing the world. This is the consciousness that has been moving through this nation for a while now. It's the consciousness that said, Black is beautiful. I just want you to understand that at the time this was happening, the word Black itself was an insult. We was Negro or colored people. I remember talking to an elder when we started saying people of color. He was like, I thought we didn't want to be colored people no more. You know, we go through things. But this was a moment where we took a pejorative term that Black was and said, oh no, it's power. Black power. Black is beautiful. Say it loud. I'm Black and I'm proud. There was a thing that happened right around the time I was born, just a little bit before. And so I was born into this consciousness, of course, because I'm from Detroit, which I like to say is the Wakanda of the United States. And so I was born into a consciousness that Black was so good. And I'm so grateful for that, because as the world has continued to emerge into this thing, we've got Black girl magic and Black woman is God. And now, thanks to Beyonce, Black is king. You better come on with that, Beyonce. Because this transformation of this negative idea is exemplifying the thing that we all are going to have to do with everything. Black Lives Matter is a vision. It is an affirmation of a greater truth beyond what was being seen at the time. I'm trying to tell you, I want to talk about Black is king for a second, because I want to say this definitively, because I've decided I'm going to take a stand on this issue. You cannot appropriate your own heritage. I don't know where we got this idea that Black African Americans should not be claiming Africa and its heritage. This is, again, the problem of separation. See, we want to think of this as an appropriation because we have lost, I'm a Kwame Nkrumah type of person, and so we don't want to think of Africa as a monolith. So people are saying, well, you know, you African Americans, you trying to claim the whole continent, and, you know, there's all these different kind of countries and nations and tribes, and you just can't claim the whole thing. Well, of course, we don't know which part we came from. So no, I'm not saying Africa is a monolith. I'm saying, what if it were a union? Which is the vision Nkrumah had, the vision Marcus Garvey had. The vision is, what if there was an African union, like there's a European union or a union of Asian countries, or people see South America as a one. People don't lose their nationality. They love and praise and appreciate that, but they also understand the significance of being a union, because I don't see anybody having a problem with Italian Americans claiming their Italian heritage, because there has not been a rift or a separation that was created. I want to tell you that the problem with African American is not the African part, it's the American part, because see, this is how the separation, this is the field person and the house person. See, this is what has happened here, is because when some of us African Americans went to Africa, and I understand it is not a country, it is a continent. So whatever country we went to, whether it was Ghana or South Africa, or it was Rwanda or Uganda, like, let's get clear, I understand countries. When we went to some of those countries, we acted American, and that kind of hierarchy, that kind of arrogance kind of turned people off. And I want to say some of us, because we make this generalization, some of us went with humility and study and love and respect and were received as such. And some Africans bought into the negative, hateful narrative of who African Americans were. Again, the logic of separation. Nobody wanted to be African American unless it involved rapping or singing or playing a sport. You understand? So when some people came to see the hierarchy of black people in the United States being brought low, being seen as criminals and animals, they disassociated themselves with that. Oh, we're not that kind of black, but it's a repudiation based on ignorance. Because you want to be Black Obama. You want to claim that. See, it's the American that's the problem in African American, and we're going to heal that today, and we have to heal that. Somebody said once, if we can glorify and heal black, trans women who are low income, people with disabilities, we're going to heal the whole planet, because what you do to the least of these, you do to God. There is no one outside of us. This is why it's so important to center the voices and experiences and oppression and hopefulness and love and joy and culture of the most marginalized in our society. Okay, we got it. We got it conceptually, but a vision for justice has got to reach out beyond the current conditions. A vision for justice is going to require each and every one of us to go within. There is one of my favorite authors is Gay Hendricks, who wrote The Big Leap. And the latest book by Gay Hendricks is called The Joy of Genius. And what he says is that the world is calling for us to express our genius. See, he talks about having a zone of excellence, but also having a zone of genius. And so excellence might be the things you're good at, you get paid well for, a lot of respect for, but genius is that thing that's in your spirit. And if all of us embrace this moment, our genius is not just a gift to others. Living in our genius is a gift to ourselves. And so this moment is developing an intuition, a deeper connection. So we in the house, okay. That doesn't have to be bad. Somebody told me my time in the house was my wilderness experience, right? I didn't have to go off in the woods. I can, and some of us are really enjoying that. But I got to have 40 days, or if I get to have 400 days, understanding my call, then this is going to change the entire world. And so I want to read a little bit from Ernest Holmes, because he talks about what it means to, and this is in How to Use the Science of Mind on page 48. He talks about what it is to be a practitioner of this philosophy. And he says, a practitioner of spiritual mind healing is continually confronted with the fog of fear, superstition, and doubt. Now, this book is, 1950, originally published in 1950. But that sounds real familiar. Fog of fear, superstition, and doubt. Otherwise, there would be no occasion for his practice. He, she, they will either get lost in the fog or see through it. This is the question. Will we get lost in the fog or see through it? Though the fog is there, the sun is always shining. This is the thing. We don't have to deny the fog. We understand that there is another truth present that is greater than the fog. That's all we're saying. Yes, there's a fog, and there is also a sun. And if the sun meets the fog, guess what? He declares that the sun is shining and that the fog is dissipated. This is his act of faith, his compliance with the law, his surrender of appearances to a greater certainty of his own consciousness. This is our opportunity. What do we really believe? What do we really place our faith in? What do we know to be true? Is there a sun that is shining even in this fog of despair? Either we believe that there is or we don't. This is the opportunity to go within and explore that. Ernest Holmes lays it out in how scientifically, and he doesn't mean science cold and clinical, he means when you pray, something should happen. If you have a faith, your life should look like that. That's what it means to say a science of the mind. It shouldn't just be this thing that makes you feel happy. It should change your life. It should change the world around you. If this is people of faith, then there should be definite results. Jesus said it way more simply, behold, I make all things new. Behold, I make all things new. So I came to say that each and every one of us has to hold a vision of oneness. So my vision of oneness is that we are one with everything. When we get to wherever it is we think we're going, which is not a destination but a journey we're always going to be evolving on, that vision that I have is that we are one with all people. There is no exception to the people we are one with. We are one with all the land, all the earth, all the sky, all the water, all the fire. We're one with all the elements. My vision is that our mark of greatness for a country or a people is how much peace they have. Not how much war they wage, but how much peace they have. My vision is that all people will not just survive, they will thrive. We're all going to be abundant because it would hurt for some of us to have and others to not have. My vision is that there are no criminals to be arrested, locked up, and punished, because from the beginning, if we see anyone who is hurting or quote unquote going astray, we surround that person with love and care. This is what justice looks like to me. It is what happens to you happens to me. You and I are one. I want your good like I want my good, because there is a collective consciousness. And so in order to have justice or peace or love or harmony or any other good that we want to have, we're going to have to let go of those false beliefs that no longer serve us. We're going to have to go within and hear that precious call that God has on our life. It can look like anything. You might need to garden or play the flute. You might need to protest or change policy. You might need to do something to invest in a more equitable economy. You might need to be the one who asks for prayer or gives it. God knows. Your spirit knows. If your highest power is out in nature, go and sit by the ocean and wait for the message to come. And as you sit there, surrender. Surrender your own ideas of what it's supposed to look like. This is my invitation to you, and I'm going to join you right there because I'm trying to close the gap between the pews and the pulpit. I don't have it all figured out, but I know that something in me, through me, as me, knows. And I'm going to invite you to let your soul surrender.
Listening in the silence, even in the stillness, everywhere you are, oh, everywhere you are. Let my soul surrender. Greater I shall be. What I came to do. Let my soul surrender.
here in this consciousness, in this frequency, in this vibration, there is a new thing coming into being. Behold, I make all things new because I see it. I see a vision for justice that is beyond this COVID, beyond this pain, this oppression. I see it beyond this loneliness, this dis-ease in the mind, in the heart, in the body. I see the presence of God, and it's beautiful, and it's whole, and it's powerful, and it's everywhere, and it's everyone, and it's my life, and it's your life, because there's only one life, and that is the beautiful divine life of God. And so I just declare right here and right now that this is the old way falling away. This is the new way having its day. I declare that I see beyond the circumstance. I see peace. I see hope. I see faith. I see unconditional love. I see all people coming together as one. I see a thriving. I see a shared economy. I see people who love the land, who love each other, who care for those who are hurting, who are older, who are younger, who are different. I see it, and I invite you to see it and ask yourself, what is it that I have to surrender? What is it that I have to let go of so I can be one with my vision of what justice looks like, my vision of what love looks like? How can I be that? How can I be that? How can I let my soul surrender? I give thanks right now. I give thanks for this music ministry, for the volunteers, for all of my mentors, all of the people who made a way for me and others. I give thanks for everyone yet to come. I hope I am a light unto the hill. I give thanks for every single person within the sound of my voice. I give thanks for me because I too am a part of the solution. I give thanks for you because you and I are one, and everything that you see in me you can only see because you are it. I give thanks for what I don't know. And I do the most important thing I can. I take my hands off of it, take my limitations, my false beliefs off of it. I take my fears off of it, and I plant this seed, this vision into the perfect soil, the light and love and law of God. And I let go of it. I let go of it. I surrender it to the power of God. And I know that I don't know what's happening in the soil, but it's happening. It's growing something that's changing everything. And I let go, and I let it be, and I say, Ashe, amen, and so it is.
Let my soul surrender, and greater I shall be. What I came to do, oh, and what I came to feel,
What I came to feel.
Let my soul, let my soul, let my soul, let my soul, let my soul surrender. Everywhere you are,
Everywhere.
oh, let my soul surrender to the heart of God. Let my soul surrender to the heart of God.
Oh, yes. I don't know about you, but I am moved. And I'm so grateful for Vanessa Wynn and Reverend Queen Michelle Jordan in this. There is something that is beyond words. There's something that is felt in the quickening of the spirit, in the soul. And if you are feeling this thing that I am feeling, I hope I know that it's calling you to act, to do something. And so this is an opportunity for you to be a part of this ministry or wherever you want to give. I want to invite you to be in the consciousness that I am abundant enough to give. Wherever you give. But if you choose to give here, there are opportunities for you to be a part of this ministry, this movement in consciousness. You can text, you can donate online, you can write a check. And if you really want to secure this place, then I invite you to sign up for recurring giving so that we know that we can count on you every month as we develop and expand our plans for giving to our people without homes, our people who are hungry, our youth ministry. There's so many places that we have a vision of transformation, and I'm grateful if you decide that you want to be a part of this. And we also want you to receive. There are so many people praying at this service right now. Our pulpit assistant, Ona Afrey, prayed. Yemen Jah Huff is doing virtual visual. Tony Flores is holding your prayers in the prayer box. Bathsheba Harambe is the coordinator. And after service today, waiting for you to ask for prayer, is Deborah Adams Trousseau, Hope Anderson, and Latoya Lopez. So it's here if you're willing. If you're willing to give, if you're willing to surrender and let somebody give to you the power of prayer, it's all available. There are many moments in life where we're called. And I just believe that now all of us have a call to answer for the collective good. And when we were talking about songs for today, it was hard to choose because of the beauty and joy of this music ministry. It really was. We sat and talked and all the things. And this next one that Queen Michelle and Vanessa are going to bring you, I wanted to lift you as it lifts me. I see hope on the horizon.
So you may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me down in the very dirt, and still like dust, I see hope on the horizon. I see hope on the horizon, and a new day dawns, and a new day dawns. I see hope on the horizon. I see hope on the horizon. Oh, and the new day dawns, and a new up, move your bodies, and let's bring some joy. Oh, you might remember this. Yes, yes, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Yes, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. I said that this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. No, the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This love, you know what, this love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, this joy love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Joyful love, this joy that I have, yes, the world didn't give it to me. No, the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This peace, yes, this peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. No, 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 this peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. No, I said that this peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. No, the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. No, no, the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. No, the world cannot take it from me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it